day to each of one of us. I'm Christina Joan D. Ladro from Group 5 of PETA 3 in Mathematics in a Modern World. Before conducting a survey, the first thing our group did is to look and observe our surroundings. Then we listed the problems we think that the surroundings is facing nowadays. After that, before choosing a topic, we make sure and consider that the problem or a topic that we come up with is timely and relevant in our community. That is not impossible to solve, that we can make progress of helping one another. Therefore, the main topic that we come up with is how often do you experience heavy workloads. Then we immediately surveyed after we end up with that topic. Here's Mr. Kurt Valencerina to elaborate more about the said topic.
Again, I am Kurt Lauren Valencerina, and in this section, I am going to explain the data gathering techniques, or the forms where the respondents answer, and explain the reason of choosing data management. As for the data gathering, we use questionnaire and is distributed online via Google Forms. The number of respondents participating in this survey are 50 people. Next is the survey itself. In the first page or section, where the respondents find the information of who the ones conducting the survey and its reason, and a checkbox confirming the information is read and agreed to use the data that they have provided. Next section is the basic information to enter the name, age, and occupation of the respondents. The last section are the questions itself. The first two are the supplemental questions, and the last three are the main ones, such as how often do you experience heavy workloads, on a scale of 1 to 5 how stressed you are, or the workloads, and the last page are the questions itself. These questions are related to the topic how often do you experience workloads, and see how much time they spend on them, how they are stressed from the workloads assigned, and how they are affected by this stress and other factors. And that is for the survey itself. Lastly, we choose frequency distribution as our method in data management because we cannot use Pearson R as the statistical treatment, as the data we are going to use are all categorical variables, and the only other option is to use other techniques such as ANOVA. So, in the next section, Mark Kapati will discuss more on the frequency distribution.
I am Markham Kapati from Group 5, so I will be explaining the formula that we come up from the data we gathered. So we use frequency distribution because that will be the one that surely fit to our chosen topic that we want to address or we want to know from our respondents. So let's go. I will put the whole formula or the whole Excel here. I will explain it part by part or chunk by chunk from beginning to the table. So let's go. The givens you can see here. There are four numbers: 9, 10, 15, and 16. Those numbers are get from the response from the question, how do you often experience heavy workloads? So there are choices, okay, never, occasionally, sometimes, often, and always. So from the least to the highest, 9 said that they occasionally experience heavy workloads. and 10 people saying they experience heavy workloads always, and 15 saying that they are experiencing often, and 16 they're experiencing sometimes heavy workloads. So those are the chunks or the numbers we want to know. So we want to know in graphically and not numerically. So let's move on to the class limits. We use class interval 4 so that there is no missing items or missing graph or 0 in the graph. Later I will explain it more so that you know better. So again, class interval for the from list number 9. Let's count 9, 10, 11, 12. So as you can see, there's a 9 to 12, and next 13, 14, 15, 16. So we get the highest number from the given, so let's stop counting the interval. So we got the 16. So lower limits are 9 and 13, and the upper limits are 12 and 16. As you can see, there's a 9 and 13 and 12 and 16. And class boundaries, to get the class boundaries, minus 0.5 from the lower limit, so 9 to 8.5 and 13 to 12.5 for lower limits, and plus 5 for the upper limits. So 12 plus 5 plus 0.5 equals to 12.5, and 16 to 16.5. That is for upper limits. Frequency, to get the frequency, let's count how many 9 and 13, how many numbers that you can see from 9 to 13. So there's 9 and 13. So the frequency is 2 for the first column. So the next column, how many 12 to 16. So there are only 12 and 16 there. So 2, they are both same 2 frequency. For the class mark, just simply get the average of the lower limit and the upper limit of the two. The 9 and 12, what is the average, which is 10.5, and that is the middle, which is the class mark. And for the next lower limit and upper limit, 12 to 16, what the class mark or the average is just simply 14.5. That is how simple the class mark will get. We come up with the idea that everyone will relate, not just as students, but every one of us, even the workers, the professionals, the student working, everyone will relate in this topic. That is the one main point. How would we come up with the idea? Everyone will relate. Everyone will appreciate what is the given survey or given question for them. That is the our main point as a team, or as a group, which is everyone will relate, and not just by in our mind but in our heart. We know that heavy workloads not just mentally breakdown, but emotionally breakdown. So that's one of the reason we come up with that idea. And we plan as a team, we talk as a team, heart to heart. We talk what is the relevant or timely to our timely issue or scenarios that everyone will relate, as I said earlier, which is the heavy workloads. We know that everyone is surviving for their living. That's the considered heavy workload, and how to address people's problem. And we know that everyone has a problem, own problem. We are having a hard time talk to each other. So we know as a kamusta for our respondents, and we get help from our respondents as well. We get them a time, a effort to answer our survey. That's the only support and help we got, and the rest is all in our efforts and our time. That how we come up with the best idea, which is this topic. Thank you.